I thought for I guess our second part, we would kind of do a bit of a rapid fire for our segment here for viewers to have some fun with. Kind of a true false. I'm going to make a statement to either one of you, or maybe the same
Oh
statement to
boy.
both of you. You'll tell me if you think it's true or false, or maybe just a quick little line, a quick little reason why you think it is true or false. So let's start off, I guess, with John. Bank of Canada will cut interest rates three or more times before the end of the year. True or false?
False.
Okay, why? Why do you think they
Um,
won't?
well, I think I think we expect one, perhaps late July, and we mentioned already 25 beeps. I think they will keep one more 25 beep shot going. So I would expect two by the U.S. election. Who knows? What happens if there's chaos or civil war in the States in November. Personally, I'm not going to be traveling to the States in November. Put it that way. And so all bets are off. I mean, if it really gets bad and violent, and the Trump assassination attempt to suggest that things can get violent and will get violent, then who knows? I mean, there could be all sorts of rate cuts and action, quantitative easing, and God knows keeping the economy and the markets alive in December. But that's too far away to predict. Right now, as you guys have said, it's been pretty stable.
Pretty stable. Patty, we'll change it a little bit for yourself. The Fed will cut twice this year, starting in September. True or false? Patty?
Well,
uh,
yeah, you know what? I'll go, sure, true. I think that they will. I think that, typically you do one, you're not one and done. Because if you do one and then you don't in the next meeting or the meeting after that, it's kind of like, did you make a mistake the first time? Because 25 basis points really isn't enough. So I'll go with the camp that yeah, I think they probably will, with the expectation that we have to be cautious here, as John already highlighted. All bets are off. We could see extreme volatility from many forces that we haven't even thought of yet.
yeah, that's for sure. And I think we will, right? The expect the unexpected, as they say, right? John, what do you think about this statement? Big tech will be the engine that drives markets higher for many years to come. True or false?
Well, I'll take a true on that one. If you define big tech as AI, and but it's not just AI, it's semiconductors, which is a big part of AI. I earlier alluded to, I think, I consider pharma to be really a form of technology.
Mhm.
So yeah, the Magnificent Seven, they're all techs, aren't they? I mean, tell me if one of them is not. Tesla is an auto company, but it's really a tech company,
Yeah,
autonomous driving stock. So they're all
It's tech.
tech.
It's tech.
it's tech. Yeah, I think Elon Musk would say it's tech more so than a car company these days, with all their different businesses that he's
A
involved in
car
for
company
sure.
worth more than all the other big three auto companies put together.
Yeah, yeah. Now I think it's
Market.
what 800 billion. I think it's back up there. So, Patty, this one's for you. I believe the markets will be higher on December 31st than they are today on the back of strong growth from the tech sector. True or false?
Yeah, I have to agree with John. And when he talks about healthcare, I think we have to really pay attention to all of these obesity drugs. They're in their infancy. That's only just starting. And obesity is a big problem. Like it is a real challenge for a lot of people. So you've got that, and so I think healthcare in general, I think AI, I think that as John has already alluded, there are tiers to AI. But AI is not going to go away. It's going to be how do companies embrace it and figure out how to enhance it? And John, excuse me, Alan, quite frankly, here, when you look at our productivity in Canada, we have to improve our productivity. And I think AI is going to help with that, but only if we see investment into it. So back to your question, yeah, I think it will push it higher.
Yeah, so you think that on December 31st we're higher on the North American indices than we are today. We want to get your crystal ball, like
Yeah,
shine
I love that.
on.
You're going to have me back on December 31st and say, you're wrong. I think that, the markets do not like uncertainty. And I do believe the US election is beyond, you can't even say it's just uncertain. There is definitely a huge bit of from an investor angst perspective. But I do, all right, I'm dancing. Forget it. I'm not going to dance. Yes, I think they're going to be higher.
Well, I will dance with you because I agree. I think we will be higher.
Well, I
Uh,
needed a dance partner. It took you
That's
long
it.
enough.
I'm your dance partner. I've said many times markets will be higher.
I do.
Obviously, yeah, obviously we don't know for sure. We don't have that crystal ball, but the way things are going, it looks pretty promising. We may see a correction. I think it would be healthy to see a correction. We're entering that period of time, August, September, when we do get corrections in the
Mhm.
market. But after that, I think we could see, based on, I think, interest rates coming down further in, I guess, the last quarter of the year, whether it's US and Canada or not, I think we will have higher markets. John, this one's for you. A bit of a different question here, or maybe a different slant on the same question. Do you think, so I'll say it from the true false perspective, of course, markets cannot move higher without big cap tech participating in the rally? True or false?
Yeah, that's true. I think we've covered that. I mean, technology, again, I look at technology in the broadest sense, not just the people making the chips and the AI stuff, but the companies who are using technology. So the company, I mean, companies that are, basically becoming more productive. Whether that means they're going to have a lot of job losses is a separate question. But you got all these traditional companies like you didn't even, that are starting to be perceived as AI companies like Oracle and IBM. I think Kathy Woods in the Globe earlier this week had a piece talking about Shopify being, she felt Shopify in Canada was a bit of an AI play as they help all their small business customers with it. So yeah, defined broadly as AI plus semiconductors and pharma, unquestionably this is a, it's the information economy and AI is at the forefront of it. So yeah.
Patty, what do you think? Do you think that if tech falters, banking, oil, industrials, other sectors, pharma, do you think they could pick up the slack for perhaps a slowdown in the tech sector?
Maybe collectively, but not independently. I think I 100% agree. The problem, or not the challenge, the problem is the challenge. We know that that particular sector is broad-based. It's far-reaching. Uh, yes, we will see it, but yeah, no, I think it's going to be led by tech, and I think tech needs to be there, and I think it's going to be broad-based, and it'll bring the others along with them.
Yeah, and I agree with both of you on that. I think tech is here. It makes up almost half the S&P 500 at this point in time, and I think you're going to need tech to participate, even though many try to say otherwise, and other sectors are joining in on the party. If tech pulls back significantly, it will be difficult. We're coming to our final true false question. I'll throw this to Patty first.
Hmm.
Investors, if they have money available, should always put it to work for themselves because there is always a bull market somewhere. It is the investors and investment advisors' job to find that opportunity. True or false?
True.
True. Simple.
No,
Good.
I listen, I want my money to work as hard for me as I work for it. I have to be realistic. I don't want to be overexposed to the equity market, but I need exposure to the equity market to keep up with inflation, to keep up with my cost of living. I know that if I'm in the equity markets, realistically, I want to have at least a 5-year time horizon, which is why I want an asset allocation that says, okay, you've got some money in cash. You don't need to disrupt good quality investments that you're holding for a long term because the markets are going through some outrageous, ups and downs in a particular period of time. So if I stay true to that, when I have new money, I'm committing it to my asset allocation and I'm sticking with the plan. That's what's going to drive my results, I believe.
Fantastic answer. John, what do you think? Is there ever a
Oh, go
time
ahead, John.
you want to hold back ever, or it's just full steam ahead? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, keeping in mind if you're a retiree and where you are and your own risk tolerance, etc. I think we all know that there's always a bull market somewhere is Jim Cramer's
Yes.
slogan every day.
That's right.
A
That's
lot of
right.
people, a lot of journalists like to slag Cramer, but I find him actually fairly insightful. And remember that even Kramer, who's notorious for stock picking, tells people, U.S. investors, to have their first 10,000 in a diversified S&P 500 index fund. So there's room for both stock picking and for asset allocation. I just going back to the tech thing. I mean, I think Patty said earlier. I mean, yes, you need some exposure to, but nobody's saying that's the only equity you want. I
Right.
think if things do get a little rocky, or even anticipation of rockiness around November, remember the defensive sectors, which are traditionally utilities, consumer staples, and healthcare. I think that you want to have, not all those sectors in Canada. Certainly, utilities are. So it's our old friend asset allocation, not just geographic, but asset classes. And we haven't even talked about gold and crypto. Uh, One thing I would say is crypto is doing quite well right now because Trump is getting behind it. And if you expect Trump to win, then crypto will probably do well as well. So
Yeah,
that's my thoughts there.
yeah, he's the keynote speaker, I think, coming up at a crypto convention or something
Mm.
I read. So interesting because I think he's changed his tune there. I know his running mate is crypto has been talking a lot about crypto. So should be interesting. Well, I think we've come to the end of our interview, our panel discussion. I want to thank you all for giving viewers a real treat. You both are a wealth of knowledge and are fantastic guests. Love to always have you on. You shed a lot of insight to all of our viewers, and you know, I think everyone has learned hopefully at least a little bit today, if not a lot. We covered a lot of information. So once again, I want to thank you both for joining me on my, I guess, my first show of the new season. And I look forward to having you both back again sometime down the road.
Thanks, Alan, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks,
Yes, and have a
John.
great third year.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.